and that we come from a Black power
Excuse me,
stance. And,
Rashad.
can I please finish? Can y'all hear me?
I just wanted to point something out to you real quick. My name is Nikki. I'm one of the co-hosts here.
Yes.
I'm just letting you know that on Twitter here in the Black grassroots, we vet candidates all the time, and in the beginning it's just kind of uncomfortable, but as we get through it, it gets easier and easier. I don't think anyone means it's trying to be rude to you or anything. It's just something that it's a process that we have to go through. We have to get through this, and as we get deeper into the process, it will be easier. So just try to be, just try to just understand that that's part of it.
And that's the energy I need. That's beautiful. I love that. That's all I'm about.
Yeah,
It's not how you do it. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. You know what I'm saying? And again, I'm
right. Yeah, and also I'm gonna
ask questions. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna step up as well as the other co-host and say that I'm Lioness. This is the energy that I'm bringing, and regardless of whether you like it or not, this is a conversation we're having. Not sure if you call everything that was being said about the introductions. I'm glad that you finally did introduce yourself. And then also something that you said that I pointed out that you got really defensive about after our brother Marcel spoke. I experienced your comment as being condescending when you're like, wow, I'm excited to see the passion and all this stuff around reparations. I'm like, brother, where you been at? We the grassroots. We talk about reparations on this app and in the world and what we do in real life 24/7. And so for this level of passion or commitment, or my brother Marcel, who's a candidate, by the way, go follow him and endorse him, spoke about reparations, if that surprises you, that's a further indication to me that you are out of touch with the grassroots. You don't have to like it. I'm stating what it is. It's an observation. You're out of touch. And I understand that you might not be on this app, but that's just what I had to say about that. And I experienced that as condescension. I experienced a lot of things that you said as dancing around the topic, which is the rally in your organization. And so if you want women to
We
speak to
haven't
you
gotten
nice,
to that. I was trying to be a little bit more structured with the discussion to give him an opportunity to introduce himself, talk about the National Reparations League, and then lead into the actual rally, because we haven't even dove into the march. He's not organizing a rally, he's organizing a march. So we're leading into that. So I don't really want to jump the gun and bombard him with that, but we're going to get into the discussion around the permits and everything as it pertains to what he's planning what he's been planning in DC. So we're just getting to this discussion, and he hasn't seen any of the threads, any of the discussions, the comments, the questions, concerns. He hasn't seen any of it. He didn't know, like I Brother Rashad, I told you yesterday and today, there is a whole movement about the reparations discussion that is much more progressive on Twitter. And it's a lot of us. It's a lot of us over here. And he just, this is his first day on here. So I want him to, and also Brother Rashad, I want you to find a nice place in your home or wherever you at, because you're in and out of the matrix. That means that your words get jumbled up and we can't really hear what you say. So I'm trying to coordinate this so we can ask the right questions, in a meaningful manner, right? So, Brother Rashad, can you just enlighten us in regards to the march in DC? Because that's really why all of this discussion is even started. So, the floor is open for you to speak, Brother Rashad.
Peace, family. Y'all hear me?
Your mic is good.
Okay. Sister Lion. Now, I want to address the march, but sister, the sister that just spoke for you, beautiful energy, beautiful. I understand the process. It comes off like you're being confrontational. I don't know why, because we all fight for reparations. It's very alarming on my end, being that this is my first time in it. I don't care what you like. Why you got to talk to me like that? I don't know. Like, have I done something to you? It's strange to me. But to answer the brother's question about Hawk Newsom, everybody who knows me in my space know that I was at his rally in February. The brother owed me one, in a sense. You know what I'm saying? That's what you do for your friends. I spoke at your thing. Hey, brother, can you speak at my thing? That's why he's there. He's there on my invitation. So let me get that clear. And another thing, personally, what we doing in the National Reparations League, we're so focused on the individuals that want to fight and really achieve reparations. I'm I'm doing this out of the sake of unity in the space, not out of I owe someone an explanation. Because once again, anybody who wants to question, Brother Naheem know how I move, and Sister Juicy knows how I move, and you can just ask me a simple question. I'm always here. But yeah, this is totally 100% started by me. Let me be there. I'm funded this. I haven't even really raised money. I mean, we can, but I'm not even accepting no money because I want to make sure we're not controlled by anybody. And that's just how we're moving. And we're moving with we're demanding reparations, either by congressional level or by executive order, and we ultimatum with that being
Rashad, I'm sorry. I just want to be very quick. What you're doing is great, but my question about Hawk Newsom remains. If he doesn't know a lot about reparations and he's advocating for things that hurts the Black community, like illegal immigration, what is he going to possibly say that's going to help push the message of reparations for which you're fighting? He's actually going to harm it, it seems.
My brother, your personal opinion of Hawk Newsom is your personal opinion of Hawk Newsom. That is Hawk Newsom means a lot to a lot of, you know what I mean? I receive, you're entitled to your opinion, but that is not going to change. A lot of people have a lot of love for Hawk Newsom.
You in the
matrix. People can love him.
You in the matrix right now, Rashad.
That mean you gotta have a beef because you might have a problem with Hawk Newsom. The reparations march. I don't put down.
I have a problem with his policy.
This ain't about LGBTQ. This ain't about nothing else about reparations. That's it. That's it. And I'm the brother because he's a powerful speaker. He's my friend. You're the first person I've ever heard say anything negative about Hawk Newsom. And that's the truth.
I'm not going to be that.
He's not. I heard. I'm telling you that I heard. I haven't heard nobody in the conscious community say anything about Hawk Newsom. That's your business. He's coming to my rally. He's coming to my march. If somebody got a problem with that, you ain't got to come. It's all love.
I just asked a question. I just asked the question about what is he. Hello? Y'all hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm sorry. We're having some technical issues. So just bear with us. Brother Rashad, there's a lot of people who got a lot of questions, right? So we don't want to And then also Sister Lioness, Sister Nikki, the God, as far as co-hosting, I want to minimize how many people are on the stage at a time. So there's not a lot of interruptions or disruptions to the other speakers.
Brother
Because,
Naheem know what it is. Brother Lord Abba know how we moving out here on the reparations scene. That's why it's
right, but there's other people who don't. So that's what we're here for, the ones that don't. Nope. So that's what we're saying. Let's get to that clarity. So, brother, okay, so Hawk Newsome is not in the space. I invited him. He's not here. Okay, so let's keep it directed to Rashad directly and what he can ask. So he invited him as a speaker to speak at the march.
But Ms. Juicy, that's what I'm asking. I'm like, what is he going to? He has admitted, Hawk Newsom has admitted he doesn't know much about reparations. The man out here is going for LGBTQ and illegal immigrants. This man, when I asked Hawk Newsom about reparations, he refused to answer. I said, what have you done? He's done a lot of good things. Great. But I said, what have you done about reparations? Hawk Newsom and people, the thread is there. He did not answer. He refused to answer. He just got defensive and said, I look like a clown and all this stuff like that. What is he going? I know Rashad, he may be a good guy, great, but I'm asking, what is he going to contribute to the fight for reparations other than him being your friend, especially when he's advocating for things that will hurt us?
Once again, brother, this is the first time I'm ever hearing anything like this. Everybody who knows me know that I'm always posting Brother Hawk Newsom. He always posting me. He's supporting me. I'm supporting him. As an Israelite, you know how we move. So it ain't going to be no confusion at my march about what's being fought for. And another thing, I can't speak for another man. I thought this was a question of the National Reparations League and me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't speak for another man. You ask me why he's there. He's there because I spoke at this event in February. I got an event now. Get mine.
No, I asked you, what is he going to say to help move the movement forward? You have to know, have some idea what he's going to say. But I see he's here, so I don't know. Maybe when it gets to him, he can answer. Because if he doesn't know a lot about reparations,
ask some questions. Yeah, let Hawk Newsom speak for himself. Because that's one brother I know.
Hawk Newsom.
Thank you so much. He just came into the space. He's listed as a speaker. The floor is open.
I'm here.
If you have a question and you're listed as a speaker, just raise your hand and we're going to, go one by one. So I want some decorum and organization. And Marcel, please try to keep your mic off before you speak.
Also, we're not going to be taking a lot of people. We're not going to be bringing a lot of people onto the stage either. We're just going to keep the stage as it is.
Oh, can I say?
You're in the matrix, so you're having some technical now. Okay, so now it's a technical issue on your side, Brother Rashad. Marcel, can you ask your question directly to Hawk for me?
Yes, Hawk Newsom. I don't have any suspicions about Rashad. I mean, I met him. He spoke well of reparations in Georgia 2 years ago. Whatever. I do have suspicions about you. Not saying you're a bad person, but I just know the lioness directly asked you the question about, this rally being planned, and obviously you didn't plan it. But did you know about it? About Tariq trying to get it? Whatever. You never answered it directly. But I know you said you reached out to Tariq. Okay, that's great. But when I said it sounded like a possible blue bully takeover, obviously you got offended by that. And I guess maybe if your shoe was on the other foot, I probably would feel offended too. And you took it personally and you listed things you've done for the community. I said, oh, great. I said, I too have things I can list that I did, especially as an educator to help the community. The reason I started running for office is because I realized all the mentoring programs and good initiatives in the world were not going to undo the systemic damage that has been done to descendants of American slaves. Reparations is the key. And I asked you, like, what have you said about reparations? And you never responded. Then other people, not me, but other people started, posting, I think, initiatives you've been involved with, like Abolish ICE. Now, that extremely bothers me. One of the big things we have to overcome the reparations movement is anti-Blackness. people who don't want to see us get when we're old. A lot of these so-called illegal immigrants, even some of the black ones, come over here are anti-black American, and you are pretty much advocating for them to come over here. So if you don't know a lot about reparations and you support illegal immigration, or at least legalizing illegal immigrants that hurt us, what are you going to contribute to moving the reparations movement forward when you admit you don't know much about it yourself?
Can I speak now? Am I being heard? Can you hear me?
Yes, your
Yes,
mic
I
is
hear
good.
you.
Okay, first of all, I don't know where you get this thing in your let me pardon my tone, but it's hard for me not to get frustrated. Okay. When you talk to me about reparations, I'm talking about the original sin. I'm talking about what this country owes us. And when I go on these national platforms, when I'm on CNN, when I'm on Fox News, when I'm on these podcasts, I raise the issue for our people, for freedmen to receive reparations. I'm not deferring from your questions. You fucking offended me. And why the fuck would I owe you a fucking explanation if
Wait,
you're
Because
hold
I
sitting
up.
want to
there?
get people.
Hold up now.
Decorum, Hawk. Please. I understand there's a lot of people have been offended,
I
but
thought I was the
people are
angry
trying to
one.
protect the interest. Sister Lioness, I'm backing out. I'm muting my mic, Brother Hawk, so you can complete your point. I don't want to mute anybody, but please practice decorum, please, and respectfulness. You can disagree without disrespect. The mic is
Yeah,
on.
I'm
I'm one of
here.
the
I'm
people you're
here.
going to be
I'm
speaking
here.
for.
I'm
I'm
here.
one of the people you're going to be speaking for.
I'm
That's why you
here.
owe me an
Let
explanation.
me finish. Let me finish. The sister spoke about decorum. Let me finish. I work too hard to answer everybody's questions. I gave you who I am and
I
my
work
body of
hard
work.
too.
Let me
Yeah.
explain something. Let me finish. This is why I don't come on these things, man.
Who are
Like
you?
like
Who you
I'm
think
too
you're
busy.
speaking to?
Marcel,
I'm really
Marcel,
Marcel,
too
you only
busy.
speaking for me. So
I'm
why should you
Marcel.
really
speak to
I'm
me?
really too busy. You asked me a question. Let me answer the question.
Thank you for gracing us with your time.
Yeah, because I got out of bed with my daughter, fam. I got out of bed with my daughter, with my little baby.
I'm not worthy. We're not worthy. I bow to
Nah,
you.
it ain't
I bow
that.
to
It's
you.
Marcel,
not that. See,
Marcel.
here's what
Mute
it
your mic,
is.
Marcel.
Here's what it is, right? You want to talk about ICE? You want to talk about that particular rally? I fought cops at that rally. I got spine damage from fighting these cops. It's not the first or the last time I fought cops for our people. I'm the first one to say that nobody in this country would have anything, if it wasn't for the struggles of Black American people. This is the thing. People pick and choose and come at me with things they pick and choose, and they don't really know me and my body of work. I don't know nothing about reparations. I don't know this. I don't know that. You got a problem with my ICE stands? Yeah. Let me tell you what ICE look like in New York. ICE look like you have Chinese communities, you have Asian communities, you have Russian communities, you have all these white people from other countries in New York City. They went to our hoods. They went to our hoods and harassed our people. So you damn right, our people, whether they appreciate it or not, is getting violated. I'm going to step up and be on the front lines, just like I always have been. But I'm Black American people first. Anybody who knows me knows that. Anybody who knows me knows that. And it's just offensive. Like people, you got to understand, we fight for real. We fight. We are not better than anybody, but we are putting in work every day, all day, receiving death threats. We got NYPD counterterrorism details on us frequently. We really about that life. And for people who don't know me to come and question my dedication to Black people, it's extremely offensive.
Hey, peace, brother. Can I ask you a quick question? This is Brother Naheem. Now, you said that ICE was coming into Black neighborhoods in New York City, like harassing. When I say Black, I mean freedmen. I'm confused by your statement.
Okay, here's what it is. These neighborhoods where Black Africans, Black, wherever they from, they inhabit the same neighborhoods in New York as Black, quote unquote, freedmen's. You understand? We all in the same hoods. When they come through wilding out, they busting up everything black. They're violating everything black. I get what you're saying. No. I get what you're saying. But I'm a defender of black people. I love black people. Black American people first, everybody else second. That's how I move. And I'm not going to sit here to appease people and go against who I am at my core. You don't have to like everything about me, but just know I'm dedicated to our people.
May I jump in here?
Wait just a minute, Mr. Newsome. How long have you known that you've been for Black Americans first when it comes to reparations? How long have you had that stance?
Black Americans, what you got to understand is I am consistently a work in progress. And I'm not afraid to admit that. Like, I used to be out here banging for BLM. I was one of the top dogs in BLM. I was never a part of Global. The people in Global hated me because I was so pro-black and I wasn't a lapdog for the Democratic Party. I don't fuck with the Democrats. I don't fuck with the Republicans. From time to time, I make some negotiations to get things that are beneficial to our people. But the way I feel right now is we deserve what's ours. It pains me that people,
How long have you been for Black Americans first? How long have you known this? How long have you been specifically Black Americans first?
from the time I was born, like
For
my
Black
parents,
American reparations.
my parents, I can't tell you when
Okay.
that was, sis. I can't tell you what exactly date that happened, but what I can tell you is my parents met at a civil rights rally. What I can tell you is we went to war with the mayor of New York City when all the black people was happy with him. I went on Fox News and called that man a coon for
So
calling us out.
since you've been supporting reparations, it's always been lineage based, yes or no?
To be perfectly honest, to be perfectly honest, the reparations fight is something that is a part of our fight, but it's never been at the forefront. I can't tell you what the exact formula was. I just know that black people, black Americans, should be entitled to the check and nobody else. My argument, and I'm being honest with you, I can't tell you exactly when, but I'm being honest with you. But my whole argument has been Jews have received their money, Asians received their money, what they call Native Americans have received their money. We should receive ours, right? Black people who are impacted by slavery should receive their money. That's
Thank
that.
you, Brother Hart. Thank you. I'm Jade, Lioness Crown. We met yesterday. I appreciate you reaching out directly, and I also appreciate you showing up, brother. Someone posted a question. Our brother Melrose. He asked, "What's Mr. Hawk's definition of reparations?" I just heard you reference a check, but could you just share with us your specific definition of reparations? That would be helpful.
I think it should come in the form of land or as a check. I think it should come from the government and from companies like the bank, Brown Brothers and Harriman, companies like Chase, people who established themselves, who built their foundations, their empires off the backs of our people. I think they should contribute as well.
So would you say that at a reparations march in DC, or did you have a speech prepared? Have you done enough research? Because that's what Brother Marcel has indicated several times to, I'm sorry, I think Rashad got brought back down. I mean, bring you back up. For some reason, he got knocked down. The issue is that there's experts on the reparation movement that I'm not sure if have been invited or not, but if you're not well abreast on the topic of reparations, why would you accept the invitation to speak on a national platform about it?
Because of my profile, because I have a profile, because people listen to me, because I have followers, and they need to hear this message. Now, what I and I say this humbly speaking, with my law degree, what I've learned is to be well researched before I step out there and speak on anything. Before you put me in front of an interview, before you put me in front of even school children, I'm going to research and speak. And one thing I can assure you, I will not say anything that is counterproductive to the movement that is out here. Now, what happens when people choose folks to come out and speak on specific topics is they reach out to those who have influence. And it's my obligation to my people and the people that I represent to go out there and deliver the right message. You understand? So when you start talking to me about, okay, well, I went into a room similar to this yesterday, and I said, I defer to the people who lead this movement, people like the brother Rashad, people who have written books. Like, those are your specialists. I am nothing more than added muscle. When people go to war, they build alliances and they bring muscle. I'm just bringing what I have to offer to the table. But I assure you that I won't say anything that's counter-revolutionary, that is counterproductive to the narrative that is put forth by the people who lead this movement.
May I go?
I mean, I got a question. If you let
Okay.
me go, I got a
But I've
regular
been
guy over here.
waiting. I've been waiting.
I feel you. Go ahead. I just got a regular guy. Got a question.
We got a whole bunch of other people
You
up
have to
here
wait
too.
for it. You have to go in order. Sister Noodles.
Okay, thank you guys so much.
Yeah, because there I know the Freedman was up here too. So yeah. So sorry about that, Nordos.
Oh yeah, no worries. There's so much that's been said, and I'm going to try to kind of go back to where what I can't speak for Marcel, but what Marcel was getting to, and what Juicy was getting to, Lioness and Nikki. Um, First of all, we can agree disagreeably. And something that Rashad said is, let's put aside our bipartisanship or what we call one another. So, having said that, um, to Rashad Singleton and Hawk Newsome, I just ask that you guys know that this isn't personal. Someone's mic is open, it's distracting. Um, Thank you so much. So, it's not personal, and we've been at this movement for a while. So when people are asking you direct questions, we're asking that you not personalize it. We're all questioned about our thoughts on reparations. So just allow me to say this based on things that you've said. So you were saying, well, people know my credentials and blah blah blah. Well, you don't know us, and you don't know our credentials. And I'll give you an example. You were just like, oh, the FBI is after me, or this happened. I just left court today, being accused of hate crimes for being in this movement. I have a JD too. I've been arrested. We Most of us in this room can give the same backstory, but that doesn't make me qualified. No disrespect to you, just hear me out. That doesn't make me qualified to speak about reparations. It's not about me. I should be able to clearly articulate my thoughts, my learned experience on reparations. So that's what we're saying to you. Welcome. Hey, how are you? Can we get to know you? So my next thing is, to Rashad, again, it's not personal. So if Marcel is asking you, hey, why did you select this guy, whether it's Hawk or someone else? Why did you select them to be at your rally? You should be able to clearly articulate, oh, well, this person has this skill set in reparations because it's a reparations rally. Not, oh, this is my friend. I I spoke in his panel, he spoke on my panel. We're doing this for our people. A lot of us have friends that are great people and do great things for the community. I work with people who are in legacy organizations like the NAACP and the Urban League. That does not make them qualified to speak on behalf of our people. This is the first time in 50 years that Black American freedmen have ever put ourselves first. There's no Black and Brown coalition. There's no um, Pan Africanism. We're in dire straits. So you just allow me to wrap this up. We have to be able to understand that understanding the mechanics of reparations is what we lead with. Scholarship, like we're introducing ourselves to you. All these people in this room, believe it or not, have followings and work. We are very serious people about this. So it's important that we have people speaking from a learned perspective. There's more to reparations than just discussing whether we're going to get a check and certain tangibles. We have policies like immigration. Immigration harms Black Americans. We have whole platforms of things that fall under the umbrella of restorative justice. And so when we go to our government and we speak about reparations, there's a whole litany of things that go into restorative justice that are current. Allow me to finish. We are the poorest people in the country that we built. I live in Los Angeles, Hawk. Rashad, our people are sleeping on the street, and my heart is fucking breaking, and I'm terrified. I'm a homeowner. I'm lucky. But people are living on the street. Why? Because of immigration, and we can break it down for you. So I'm going to close with this. I'm getting passionate. I'm feeling it in my heart, getting a little emotional. Haven't slept for 24 hours, but I'm going to close with this. If I'm imploring you guys, read From Here to Equality by Dr. William Sandy Darity. If you haven't, it doesn't sound like you have. It's not an indictment. He also has a reparations quick guide online that breaks down everything to you. That is the underpinning of this movement. If you read that, I think you can hone in so incisively and insightfully and be able to articulate to any audience, no matter how heated they come at you. So, out of respect, peace, love, and reparations, thank you guys for allowing me to speak.
Hey, Hawk, let me
I
ask you
just,
this.
can
This,
I address that?
yes, you can. Go ahead. Sorry.
I just want to say thank you. Um, Thank you for the way you expressed that. To take it from the top, I get it. I understand, and from the communications I've had with certain people on this call, I understand that you are serious. Um, what when you have a large number of people tweeting at you and saying these things about you, it is extremely hard not to go on the defensive, because not only are they attacking, they're attacking your craft, your life's work. So forgive me and understand that I'm not discounting any of your work. You know what I mean? I'm not backpedaling in any way, but I'm just saying from my heart, from my spirit, I'm not discounting your work. But when people are trying to disqualify you, it's a basic reaction to qualify yourself, and I'm a alpha, you know. I'm going to step out there and respond hard. So I don't wish to offend any of you, except for those who seek to offend me. And respectfully, I just thank you for saying what you said, sis.
Can I
And
also address as
Hold,
well?
this is
hold,
Nikki. I'm sorry.
I have.
And
let me just
Rashad,
ask a question. Oh yeah, okay. I had a question for
Can y'all hear
Rashad.
me? Okay.
yes, you
Yes.
sound good.
Beautiful. Okay. Yeah. Again,
Go
I,
ahead,
I I love
Lioness.
the fact that we ask questions. And my whole thing is that it's important that we ask questions before we make insinuations. That's all I'm saying. And again, we moving from a stance of love. I mean, believe it or not, a brother just wasn't on Twitter like that. I know some people within their own apps think everybody's like on that app, but like, man, I ain't been on Twitter since I don't even think about Twitter, but I hear that that's where a lot of stuff is happening, a lot of news has been. So okay, and now it's time, but we are busy. we are making moves and definitely getting things done. And in regards, I want to point out something very clear about uh, the the dates that we got the event. Now I have emails, emails showing that first of all, there's no way in hell we got it overnight. Who am I to get a permit overnight from Washington D.C.? Please let me know. That don't even make no damn sense. It was a monthly process. We got a director in Washington, D.C. that was helping us. We got people on the ground in D.C. that was helping us. And they also gave us the runaround. Our initial date, which I have on email, was September the 17th. They said no. Then it was like, 9/11, the Women's March. Then something else was going on. They gave us October the 8th. We said, okay, cool. Come around that next Monday, they said, yeah, no, October the 8th is no longer available. We're like, damn. So now we really feel like they playing with us. Like, man, they're not about to play. They're not about to get it. Then they say October the 16th is available. And I'm like, that's on a Sunday. Obviously, like, who wants an event on a Sunday? The natural day is to have it on the 7th. They gave us the date. How I can't request a date. Why is it Freedom
Who is
Pride?
they? When you say they, who was the they?
The they is the people that's it's the director of the DC permit people, whoever that is, those people.
Was
I
it
meant
what? Yeah, look, was it the National Park Service? Because they're the ones
let
who
me
handle the permits on those grounds down here.
it was two different ones. Give me a second. I'll get it for you. You know what I'm
Yeah, because
saying? But
some of the stuff, if you're doing a march in the streets and stuff like that, that would be the DC Metropolitan Police. Because right, they
right,
have to block off streets, make sure you have a motorcade. But if
exactly.
you're talking about convening in a public space like near the White House, Freedom Plaza, any of those public spaces on those grounds down there, DC's
Right,
federal territory and stuff like that, that goes through the National Park Service, especially if it's any of those parks.
right.
And so there's a
Well, we
process
got
to your point.
if y'all know Brother Addison, he's the one that was orchestrating it for me and helping me and guiding me. Sister Janice in Detroit, my director in Detroit, she was guiding me because she's also worked in DC. She knew it. So I'm talking to the park ranger, a sister by the name Miss Deborah Dees, and she's helped guiding me along the way. Thank God she was a sister, or we probably wouldn't have to permit our damn selves.
Brother
But
Got it. Yeah, and
That's why I was.
and
That's why I had the
for
question. Just Sister Lioness was working as well to try to get the permit as well. So that's why she had a lot of questions for Hawk and for you, Rashad. And that's why she's been having bring Tesla up. Thank you. That's why she had a lot of
what
yeah,
questions
does
because
Rashad.
she's been on the ground
Just let
too.
me. Can I qualify? I just want to clarify a couple of things right quick, right? Because I do want to just make sure I'm speaking for myself. My brother, our brother, Tariq Nasheed, did the permit application. My name, along with his name, was listed on here, on that. We also had Dr. Randy Short, attorneys, and other people working with us. So initially, we went through all of the stages of the process. The dates were available each time that we spoke to them. And then we realized that they started doing the runaround, giving us a runaround, delay. I went down there in person to follow up. In addition to, we had phone calls. We also have email chains and things like that. Next thing we knew is we didn't get a response for like a week or so. And then the FBI shows up at our brother Tariq Nasheed's house. And then after that, we were completely ghosted. And then from my perspective, like, I didn't know that. I never heard, respectfully, I'm not throwing shade or anything, ever heard of the National Reparations League. And then we see a flyer circulating, same area, same dates, same weekend, and same topic, reparations, right? So I don't doubt for 1 second that y'all got the runaround, right? Because we already know who the actual enemy is, which is, white supremacy, the powers that be, however you want. So I'm not discrediting or doubting that you brothers or your organization got the runaround in terms of getting permits. My initially, when I saw the flyer, I'm like, who put this together? How can I never heard about it, right? Especially if it was, being planned for up to 5 years. Shout out to my brother Tariq. I'm about to defer to him in just a second. So from my perspective, as someone who's being down here, who has literally been physically blocked from going into the permit office multiple times, giving phone numbers and having email addresses and told that people don't work there. And then the alphabet boys show up at our brother's house. And then all of a sudden we don't hear nothing else from them. And then a flyer comes out about a reparations rally, same place, same time, same topic, that we've never heard of. And so, yes, this is a vetting process. We were really clear in terms of what the vision is for our movement. We are advocating for lineage-based reparations for those of us whose ancestors were enslaved, not talking about just Jim Crow, but enslavement, the killing fields of American slavery. And so, yes, this is a hostile topic. I'm passionate. This is the energy that I bring from whether I am advocating on this in here on Twitter Space with y'all, whether I'm in front of the police station or rolling up on a Chinese nail salon that abuses Black people in Brooklyn. This is just what it is. And so all of the, the talk we're trying to discredit or, come at my character for this is very, very serious, because this isn't just an issue of not getting a permit or having a rally. I'm down here on the ground. I clearly know what it means to go through a process. When we're talking about being ghosted by a complete government agency, being blocked from going into buildings, and having an FBI show up at our brother's house, and then a reparations rally comes seemingly out of nowhere, we have questions and we get to ask them. So I'm just gonna name that, and I do understand that there's metropolitan street blocking. You're talking about doing a march. Yes, that's the DC Metropolitan Police. That's the city. And then there's also the National Park Service. So I'm gonna go ahead and I wanna let's go to our sister Teslin, because she came up here, and then we're gonna go to our brother Tariq.
Lucy, can I please just say one thing?
May I speak?
No,
Because
Marcel,
I
hold
think
on.
we've been waiting for a while.
I have to say something to that, right? Brother Rashad, this is, since the interview is about me, I have to respond to that. Now, again, sister, I understand you having questions, and I understand you may wonder, like, damn, how can this happen? And again, we're a DM away, a call away. We will gladly share who we talking with. We will give you the cell phone number. That's no problem. But
it's not about that. We're grateful that you're here. So we already made that point. Our brother Hawk was really good in reaching out to us, right? We relayed the message. That's why Tariq is here. So we're handling that. We don't need to keep talking about the same thing over and over again. We're just trying to get clarity. Again, this is not personal. And yes, you are DM away. You showed up. So that's great. So we don't need to belabor that point. We just want to get to the bottom and ask these questions. Right now, we're trying to talk about what the messaging is behind this rally. Is it lineage based? Is it something that's going to be advocating for every other group of Black folks? Like, we have questions, and that's what we're going to keep the focus on. That we're not going to keep going around in circles about things that are sort of inconsequential. So let's go to our sister Teslin, and then we're going to go to our brother Tariq, and then you can respond, brother Rashad. Go ahead, Tess.
So thank you. Hello to everybody in the room. I was really trying to stay out of this, but I did want to say this, Hawk. You had made the comment about, you were invited because of your platform. You have a large platform. You talked about going on Fox News. And then when the question was asked what you actually know about reparations, you were very honest, which I appreciate, when you said that it has not been at the forefront of what you've been pushing on a daily basis. You also mentioned that you will do your research. The march is next week, and I just want to make a point. And just so you know, I'm not personally attacking you. You can see me make this same point on my Instagram profile, also on my Twitter space, the pinned tweet. I made the same point at Revolt last week. I'm on Fox News, brother, just as much as probably you are, maybe even more, for the last decade. I've been on every major platform. I'm on major platforms now on a weekly basis. Every show you've been on Fox, I've probably been on at least 5 times. And I'm not trying to make an accusation. I just did a simple search on your name. In the police reform space, I work heavily with that. I write all of the policy that Attorney Crump presents to actually get passed for police reform, not just in New York, but all over the country. I'm not saying that to toot my own horn, but I'm saying that out of respect for the brothers and sisters in the room that I felt that comment you made was very condescending to them because it was coming from a place of you're on Fox News and you're always pushing, and he invited you because you have a big platform. To me, that was very disrespectful in the room because your platform is no bigger than mine, no bigger than Tariq's, no bigger than many people in this room. And the bottom line is,
That's
you're
not why.
not. Let me finish, sir. I'm just telling you how I received the comment. When you said you were invited because you have a big platform and people listen to you, that's what you said verbatim.
That's
And
what
with
he
their,
said. I didn't say that.
sir,
No, she's talking to Hawk.
I'm talking about Hawk, sir. Your Twitter wasn't working when we were having the conversation. This was about Hawk. Hawk said that he was on Twitter, he was on Fox News, and he was talking about how he was invited because he had a big platform. So I'm bringing up that just last week at Revolt, I made the point that just because somebody has a big platform, I was talking about entertainers, but just because somebody has a big platform, or just because somebody thinks they all that in a bag of chips, if they are not prepped on the topic, then they should be quiet. I made that point last week at Revolt. And not only did I make that point at Revolt, I lived that by example on the panel because I brought it up on the panel. I told Van behind the scenes that when it's time to talk about the who and the why and the history about reparations, he does not need to ask me that question. I was very clear. I said, ask the others on the panel. And it's not because I can't answer the question, because I feel that I can. But I deferred that to who I believe was the expert in that area. I said, talk to me when it's time to talk about how we move forward with political action because that is my expertise. So I just want to defend, since everybody vouching tonight, I want to vouch for the people in the room to say, to come into a space and say that, basically you were invited because you got this major platform and people listen to you. It is disrespectful because you should be professional enough to be able to say, hey, you know what? This is not the topic that I'm that familiar with. And since you are familiar with Brother Naheem, like you said, and Brother Naheem definitely came and vouched for you, my question would be, why didn't you say, you know what? I'm not that familiar in this topic. Perhaps Brother Naheem should be on the microphone. So those of us that have access to big microphones like Fox News, which again, I can go on there tomorrow if I want. Actually, you can catch me on the Hill tomorrow, actually. Let us pass the mic to those that actually know what they're talking about. Naheem is very versed. I do it all the time. I'm in spaces. I say, hey, Brother Naheem, do you want to come in and speak on this? In fact, I just asked Jay just last week, would you like to do a panel on reparations? And she even said, why don't you ask Brother Naheem? So we are in the business, and I'm just talking about the 3 or 4 that I just mentioned, of passing the mic, being humble enough to pass the mic to those that know what they're talking about, because it makes no sense to have a big platform and big outreach just to spread misinformation. That sets us back. And that is why you're getting the hostility in the room. I'm not sure. I understand Juicy wanted to create this room to get some balance. Shout out to her to doing it. But basically, you were kind of put in a hostile situation because they've been working on this march for the last 4 or 5 months. And so when someone just pops up out of nowhere and say, hey, I got a march, and this is what's happening, and then they're researching the people that's actually speaking, yes, there was some concern. I understand that you were upset and frustrated by it. But I just wanted to speak up just for the people, the brothers and sisters in the room. I'm on Fox 2, honey, and I still pass the mic. So let us just be disciplined and humble enough to pass it when we need to pass it. And Brother Rashid, let us be disciplined enough to ask why Brother Naheem was not the one speaking on the mic. Seems like maybe
Brother
Hawk
Abba
should
is
pass it
invited,
on.
sister. Brother Abba
Okay.
is
Yeah,
invited.
Well,
let me
maybe he
just
should
say.
pass it to Naheem. So I'm gonna land my plane there, and I'm done.
Yeah, I'm gonna just
Okay.
say real briefly.
I, I
I
just I
was
just want to
invited,
put
but
things in
real
their
quick, brother Hawk.
proper
Re-
perspective.
Real
I
quick,
was
bro.
laying in the bed with my
Can they
daughter,
hear me?
chilling. I jump on and I hear somebody attacking me. I'm at relax chill mode on level 10, peace with my child. And I turn this thing on and hear somebody attacking me. Of course, I'm going to go on
Sure.
the
I
defensive. You
Hey,
understand what I'm saying? And
oh,
then
no
of
doubt. And
course,
matter of fact, I
sis,
told Juicy, just for clarity, I told her she can't manage emotion. Like if you feel some type of way, I cuss at folks all the time, honey. So I'm not tripping about that. I'm just only speaking to the comment about when the question was asked. I said nothing about your emotion. I'm
No, I
only
get it.
speaking
No, no,
to
no. But you
when the
said I was
question was
talking to
asked.
people. You said I was talking
No,
to
no, no.
people in a condescending tone,
No, I'm only
and
talking
I
about the
just wanted
Fox
to
News.
address that.
But
I
I'm
just
only
wanted
Hawk,
to
talking about
address
the
all of
that.
Fox.
us
Like
on the
when
stage
this
I'm
get
brother
only
reached
attacked
talking
out to
about.
every
me,
day.
when
I'm
the
only
brother
talking.
reached out,
Hold up for 1 second. We're gonna hear from one person at a time. One, two, this is not an emotional conversation. So I'm gonna need people to take the emotions out of it and just speak to logic and answer questions and speak to the facts. Don't want to hear a sob story. Don't want to hear about emotions. Get down to the business of answering questions and answering questions straight. All of that, how people feel, it's just I'm experiencing male fragility in this space, and it's, for me as a Black woman, it's scary. Can we please just get on topic and answer the sister's questions? Like, it's not about all of that. And I understand we all have our lives, we all have trauma and all of that stuff. Y'all want to hear a trauma story? I got a whole bunch of them. But that's not what this space is for. The space is about answering the questions. All of that getting into emotions and topic is just deflection. So let's get down to the business of solving these problems. Let's go back to our brother Hawk and our sister Tesla, and then we're going to move forward to our brother Tariq.
Okay, Hawk, sweetheart. And I apologize. I don't want to say sweetheart in a demeaning way. That's just the way I talk. I'm not talking about how you defended yourself and the words you use. I'm simply only talking about when the question was asked why you were selected on the panel. You answered that you were honest to say reparations has not been in the forefront of your issues. And you answered it saying you were invited because you have a big platform and people listen to you. And you mentioned how you go on Fox News. I'm only speaking to that. I'm only saying that just because somebody has a big platform does not mean that they are the one that should speak. They should use that big platform to defer it to somebody else. And if Brother Naheem was invited to speak and he could not speak, then that is a great time to say, well, who else do you recommend that actually knows about reparations? And I'll land my plane there.
okay, I get what you're saying, but what we're neglecting to
That's
acknowledge
why
is
I never
when we
attacked
talked
this
about
guy.
research and when I
I
talked
never
about
attacked this
going
guy.
on these
Let's make that very
platforms,
clear.
how I do my research, how I research these topics so I can prepare an intelligent and informed response to whatever they throw at me. But thank you for expressing your concerns.
May
Thank
I
you, brother
say again,
Marcel. Yes, go ahead, Marcel.
I never attacked this guy ever. I said before I even knew him that this rally seemed suspicious and seemed like it'd be a boule takeover. Never even heard of him. It was later on when I came across Lioness Thread and I saw him mentioned down the line, and then he took what I said personally and started listing off his accomplishments. I never even heard of him before. And all I said is, okay, what about reparations? Now, you've already said you didn't feel you need to explain yourself to me. What I'm saying, if you're going to be on a reparations rally speaking about what people of my lineage are owed, that includes me. So if you don't feel the need to explain yourself to me, then how can I trust you to speak for me? I never even attacked you. So please get out your feelings. I mean, I get being attacked. I get attacked all the time, personally and politically. But I didn't even do that. Just that narrative against him that he was our attack.
Marcel, and the same thing here. I asked two questions, and I kept it moving. We connected with our brother channel, and we left it at that. So nobody can accuse me of assassinating anyone's character and all this extra emotional gas stuff. Let's go to our brother Tariq Nasheed. Welcome, bro.
Thank you.
Hey, sis, how are you? How's everybody doing, family?
Bless.
We good?
Thank you.
We
All right, all right.
okay? Good. Got to give a shout out to my brother Hawk. Hawk is my brother. Good, real brother, does very good work. With that being said, we just want to get a lot of clarity to what's going on. We don't want to be too accusatory. Brother Rashad, is he in here? Brother Rashad?
I'm here, brother.
How are you, sir? This is my first time meeting you. How are you, my brother?
Peace and blessings, family. All is well. How are you?
I'm good. Now, brother, I want to ask, with the march that you have planned, who were some of the speakers that you have planned for your march?
That's a great question, brother. Brother Naheem, right
All
here
right.
in the room, is one of them.
Mhm.
Brother, we was getting ready to reach out to you before all this confusion seemed to happen on Twitter yesterday.
Mhm.
We and the letterhead written out. We wanted to write to a few congressional people as well. Interested in reparation, but we haven't gotten that far yet. But who's on the panel right now is Brother Naheem, Brother Hawk's Sister Nikki, Brother Lewis Allen out of Louisiana, Brother Robert Turner, who many of you know is he was the pastor of the Tulsa church that got burnt down in Black Wall Street. He was a hard reparationist, and now he's in Baltimore, so he's going to make it down to DC as well. So we kind of shooting from the hip, brother, but we definitely reaching out to people as we go.
Do you guys have any? You guys have any NCOBRA or NARC people scheduled to be a part of it?
Nah, because the one thing, and Brother Naheem can attest to this, is that when we met last year, Brother Naheem, we did the reparation rally.
Last year.
Yeah.
Yep.
Literally off the strength, the type of man I am is, if you my homie and you tell me to watch out for some people, I got to take note of that.
Right.
So my brother Ty Harper and Brother Naheem was like, yo, and Cobra, gotta watch him. So I really ain't had no dealings with him. As far as I know is Aaron Cobra. Somebody wrote something on my page one time. If your reparation ain't got nothing to do with Aaron Cobra, you ain't doing it right or something. And I'm like, and I think that's the problem. Like, we're all doing our individual things, but I guess some groups out here may be trying to slow down the movement or sabotage the movement, whatever the case may be. But no, there's nobody from Ant Cobra. I don't even know. I can't even tell you much about Ant Cobra other than Brother Naeem and Brother Ty don't like him very much.
Did you invite anybody, brother, from the Nation of Islam to participate or speak for the march?
No. I mean, me and Brother Ben are cool. Me and Rizza Islam, we kind of know each other just on social media. 19 Keys is cool and everything, but no. As far as I'm very specific on who I want to reach out to that's talking. Now y'all saying Hulk Newsom don't talk about reparations, but y'all wasn't at the Harlem rally that we did in February. He said one or two things about reparations. So again, I'm moving with people that's moving fearless, and I'm moving with people that's strictly about getting solutions for Black people. We know that Brother Hawk Newsom talks a lot about police brutality, but we understand that not having reparations is one of the branches from not from the police brutality is a branch from not having reparations. So
right, but I just want everybody to understand a lot of our position is we've been trying to get the permit for reparations march since like June, July. We've been trying to do that, like physically going up there, emailing and calling every other day, and they've literally given us the runaround. They went out of their way to not allow us to have this thing, and I'm getting visited by the FBI, and they're really going out of their way. And then all of a sudden, a rally pops up the same exact weekend when they were very clear there were no other rallies happening that weekend. So now there's a rally popping up, and it's a week or so away, and there are not too many people scheduled to be on it. So now there's a lot of questions here, not to be accusatory, but a lot of people are like, what's going on here? There's some questions that we have to ask. And now up in the Jumbotron, you have one of these Democratic shills, that Stephen Johnson dude, who's been harassing a lot of us on the grassroots. And he stumps for the Democrats. He's bragging and gloating about us not getting a permit and you guys getting a permit. So there's a lot of weird stuff going on around here that we're just trying to get clarity on. Does that make sense?
I understand, brother, and I'm so glad that you asked it. And that's the first thing I told Brother Hawk yesterday. I said, anybody want to know something, just ask a question. I think we have to be very careful with insinuating things, or because our voice travels in volume. I mean, Brother Tariq, I'm going to let you know just personally, I'm a big fan of, if you look in your DM, I'm in your DM, brother. I was supporting you in Revolt last year with Sister Camila. Sister Camila is a good sister of mine. I'm so proud of what she's doing in California. So, the thing about it is that they gave us the runaround too, brother. If you want emails or screenshots, even though I don't feel like I need to show anything, but I'm willing to show anybody anything they want to see, because I want us to have a direct route I know who to talk to now. Like I know exactly who we need to contact to have a reparations rally. We can do this every year. I got the direct line to. So what we had to do to break it down, most of y'all already heard it earlier, but just to break it down to brother Tariq, I don't think he was here yet.
Right.
Me and brother Naheem and brother Todd, we was talking about a reparations march since last year. Right, we was said we need to do something in DC, man. Let's do something. We was talking about maybe we should do it in Atlanta, maybe it should be Baltimore, but it was like, nah, we got to take it to the root, bro. We got to go to DC. So we put it on. For me personally, a lot of things I didn't get to do this year, like going to the African Fest in Brooklyn. I didn't get to do that. I didn't get to go to Juneteenth in Atlanta. I did that last year. Did a lot of reparations interviews. I ain't get to do that, so I'm anxious. Like, yo, we got to do something. I ain't did nothing all year. So like, yo, let's finally have the reparations march. Let's have it in DC. We have it. We figure out the date now. The first date we summoned was September the 17th. Couldn't get that. We like, okay, but we know the primary is coming up in November, so we got to move fast. Getting a runaround. They finally gave us October the 8th. They gave it to us about 3-4 days. Check the email Monday. They say October the 8th is no longer available. And like, we like, what the fuck? Like, dog, come on, bro. Like, they really got us going in circles. So, going back and forth with a little bit, the sister named Deborah D, she's the park ranger out there. She said October 16th. I said, well, let me know what days available. She kept asking me in this phrase, what's another day that you want? I like, every damn day I keep saying, you keep saying, no, that's not available. I said, so I flipped it on her. I said, you tell me what day is available. She said, got back to me probably 2 days after that. October the 16th is available. I looked on the calendar. It's a damn Sunday. And I'm tripping. I'm like, man, nobody want to have no event on a Sunday. Like, how am I get people to fly in town and they got to go to work on Monday? I'm thinking about all the problems. 2 or 3 days later, I'm talking to Brother Lewis Allen, who was going to be a speaker from Louisiana. He said, you know that's going to be the same day of the Million Man March. I said, what? He said, yeah, brother, I was there. He said they had it on October the 16th. And that's when it was like, whoa, like, what is God doing? Like, this is turned into a spiritual thing. But to be very clear, I didn't request that date. We did request the plaza because I think that's they might have had the Million Man March there. But is that where they had it at? Okay. We wanted, it was going to be there or another place. And they gave us there. And they got the Capitol in the backdrop and everything. So, yeah, bro.
So quick question. What congressional leaders were you planning on inviting? I'm just curious. You mentioned you were going to invite some congressional leaders.
Right. I mean, obviously, you know, the two main ones that stick out to me, if there is, I mean, this is not something that's set in stone. But obviously, Cory Booker and Sister Sheila Jackson, they are doing things toward, you know, HR 40, whatever the case may be. But I understand a lot of people have problems with them. You know what I'm saying? I understand a lot of people got problems with them, and if they don't need to be there, they ain't got to be there. I don't give a damn. It ain't nothing I'm married to on that.
Will you please be
They
sure
don't
to
need to be
invite
there.
Dr.
They
William
don't.
Sandy Darity?
There
Will you
we
please
go.
be sure to invite Dr. William Sandy Darity, the
He's on the list
preeminent,
too. Absolutely.
but you really, he has to be there if he's available. He is the
Yeah.
preeminent scholar on reparations. If you can't read the book in time for the
I got it.
rally,
I got it, sweetheart. I got it.
well,
I
hold
got
on.
the
I'm
highlighter in the
talking.
book right now.
No, I'm talking to the whole audience. If you don't have time to read the book online, he has a reparations quick guide. Everybody can go and pull that up. There's 3 volumes. Thank you. Peace, love, and reparations.
And
Brother
thank you.
Rashad, if I could jump in right here.
No doubt,
Uh,
family.
I think it's very important that we are at this place right now, right? Just from the outside looking in, it's foul the way they appointed that date, and it was done to intentionally cause strife, and I'm sure a lot of people in here would agree with me on that. But the way we trying to come together and we trying to move on this, if people are off the list, then they off the list, right? If I've come at Cory Booker's throat many a times. If folks who are in this room, right, who are, or I dare say in this coalition, right, are against certain people, then we got to X those people out. And that's in the spirit of community. And with that being said, I know we can't form unity with everybody, but certain people definitely got to be scratched out.
And I appreciate you saying that, Hawk. And just to the point, and thank you for accepting my feedback earlier. But this is kind of what the point I was making. When folks are just involved, and and again, shout out to Brother Rashid. It's clear, Tariq keeps saying you guys are good brother, or that he knows you and you're a good brother. But I just want to reiterate that point again. If you're not as familiar with who should be speaking, Brother Rashid, or if Hawk, if you're lending your platform, which I understand, I respect, and I appreciate, this is what happens in our community when we're having, if it's kind of like, let's just, do a rally and let's just invite this person, that person. And I'm not on Twitter and I'm not involved and I don't know who really to talk to, but I just want to do it. This is what does the detriment. And I hope you guys understand. I know, I feel you did it with somebody did it with a pure heart. I really do. In the hood, we call it a crash dummy, where somebody, not you guys, respectfully, but it seems that they intentionally, I agree with you, Hawk, intentionally did this to cause strife. And so this is a perfect example of how we're used against each other, pitted against each other when people are misinformed. And so I understand you're not on Twitter all the time, Rashid. I get it. But this is I was very clear with the producers at Revolt, very clear that this is a very hot button issue. They have to be very careful on what questions are asked and so forth. And so these types of things matter, because I knew that if it did not go well, if the right questions weren't asked, if the right people were not allowed to speak, I knew that it would blow up. So I appreciate you brothers coming to the space, and I know you don't have to answer. You've said that repeatedly. None of us do, just for a point of clarity. None of us have to answer to anybody. But I do appreciate you guys coming and at least clearing it up, because it did look suspicious. And that's why I asked you, what Congress people were you talking about inviting? Because the reparations topic is very different than police reform and everything else. And that's why you got the reactions you got when they said, when you mentioned the people that you were inviting. So I really am done this time, but I do thank you brothers for at least coming. But I hope there was a lesson learned across the board for everybody on really, doing your research prior to, not setting up the rally and then doing the research, 2 weeks before, because this is a discipline. This is not a 2 or 3 talking point, conversation. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you,
I want to be.
Cecily.
I just want to say that they although we been fighting for a while, they just gave us the permit like last week. You know what I mean? So now I'm checking with people in their schedules, and I got to see. That's why I don't know, because it's such a short notice. With
Oh
it
no,
being,
but sweetheart, but even the people you thought about asking is why people were laughing in the room. So it's not a matter of the schedules, just even the people you were thinking about asking is why you got the reaction. Because not being on Twitter and hearing what people are saying, not following the conversations, not knowing, who people have issues with and why there's issues with, certain folks, not having that knowledge and that intel, you were pretty much walking into a grenade. Seriously, and that's
well, I
why this
don't
created.
feel that way. I don't feel like I was, because again, I'm all, if somebody got a problem with something, then
Well,
help
we
me,
did, but
educate
that's
me.
what we're doing, brother.
We
I'm
can
saying
we can
prior
talk.
to. I'm saying what caused this whole conversation. That's why I keep saying I'm glad you came in. But what I'm saying, if you didn't come in, I'm trying to tell you why it was so, why it was on a 10.
So y'all
And
got my
you,
back now? Are y'all gonna
yeah,
be at the reparation?
it's
Y'all got my back?
I want to come to the reparations. I got a
I won't be
question
there.
though.
But
Or,
I did mention the Nation of Islam. And so I have my FOI brother, King Cam, who had a follow-up question, who posed the initial question about the Nation of Islam. Any speakers from the NOI speaking. So I'm going to have our brother, King Cam, chime in right quick. But I won't be at the march.
Hey, I got a question for the brother Hawk real quick though. As far as like, I understand you
Brother
part of
King
Black
Cam, we
Lives
can't hear
Movement.
you. Go ahead again. Try to unmute.
Oh, you can.
Yes, ma'am.
There you go,
Thank,
brother.
thank you, Sister Linus. Can I be heard? Am I heard?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate this opportunity to be able to speak, and I did pose the question initially: has the Nation of Islam been invited to the rally? And the answer was no, and it was kind of breezed by And I wanted to have a follow-up question because the record of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam, specifically dealing with the reparations topic, will reflect that we definitely should have some representation at any rally or march or organization or organizing committee of any sorts as it pertains to the reparations conversation. And I've been listening to the room and shout outs to everybody. I'm familiar with a lot of the work that's being done in Twitter spaces on the ground. In real life, shout out to Sister Tesla who was just in Atlanta with the Push the Line a movement and things of that nature. So there's a lot of work that's being done. But what I find interesting is that there are marches and rallies being organized in some kind of way. We skip the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, who organized one of the largest groupings of Black people ever in American history, at the same place that we're talking about today, and had to kind of go through all of these different obstacles that we find ourselves running into today. So anyone who's familiar with the Final Call newspaper, and on the back of the Final Call newspaper, there's something called the Muslim Program that breaks down a lot of reparations and a lot of the things that were mentioned on the Revolt panel last week when it comes to land ownership, when it comes to cash payments, when it comes to policies and things like that Black people are owed for the blood, sweat, and tears that we have dedicated and left on the soil of America. I find it very, very egregious that there's no representation from the Nation of Islam specifically, because the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan has been working in the Black community longer than some of us have been alive. The minister's work extends over 60 plus years, not to mention the fact that some of us haven't even reached that age. His work is at 60 plus years in the Black community. So, and this is why sometimes we keep running into these obstacles. We have issues in the movements because we don't go and seek the guidance of the elders who've actually been through this and have dealt with these different type of things and issues that could give us the proper guidance, so that will help us to be able to organize and move successfully. So I just wanted to get some clarity on how come there was no mention of bringing anybody from the nation to speak, but we can think about bringing Cory Booker. I'm trying to get some type of clarity as far as that's concerned. And thank you, Sister Lioness, for allowing me to speak.
Well, if I can, I don't know if Brother Rashad wants to respond to that, but I definitely want to say something.
Brother Rashad, you want to respond?
All right. Well,
Brother,
Yeah, family. Yeah.
Hey,
Absolutely. Brother, King Cam. Once again, brother, we just got the permit last week. I cannot ask people to come to something when I don't even have a date for it. I ain't even have a date for it, so I can't ask anybody to come to anything when I don't have a date. That's that's how I move. I like to have a date for something before I start it, or I invite you to come to something. I don't have any personal problem with the NOI. I'm from North Florida. I'm not familiar with the NOI too much on a personal level. Once again, I know Brother Ben. I don't know Brother Ben, but I know of Brother Ben, 19 Keys, but I'm not in a city to personally, hey, yo, come speak at a reparation. Now, from my point of view, is why don't nobody from the NOI come hit me up and say, brother, we want to speak? Because that's as simple as it is. So there's no need to feel egregious or anything. It's just, hey, brother, we want to speak. No doubt. What time? Hey, you going after Brother Naeem? Cool. All right, cool.
yeah, let me. Oh,
Yeah.
my bad.
and
Go ahead, my bad.
and just to jump in and piggyback on that, that we've worked hand in hand. Like when I was BLM and transitioning to Black Ops, like we've worked hand in hand with the Honorable Minister Hafiz Muhammad that passed away because of COVID. Like he was a mentor of mine. My general in Black Ops is a member of the Nation of Islam, and they've come out to many of our functions in New York City.
All right, let me just say real quick,
Thank you for that,
because
though, bro.
I got a question in my DMs about, did I help organize or no? Brother Rashad reached out to me like he said a week ago, right? Or I don't know if it was a week ago or 2 weeks ago
But I told you
when he got.
we was waiting on a permit. When I get the permit, I was gonna hit you up. Yep.
Mm-hmm. And the original date that Brother Rashad told me when we spoke months ago, he
Brother
said he was
Naheem, I know
trying to
you
get
have raised your
something.
hand. Did you want to go?
Yeah, can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
I
I can
hear
hear you fine.
you. Yeah, he's
Miss,
been
he's
speaking,
speaking.
Lioness. He's been speaking. It may be some bad connectivity on your end.
Yeah, so because I got a question and I wanted to address that. Obviously, that if I was helping to organize it, no Narc, no Cobra, no Cory Booker, no Sheila Jackson Lee would be invited, right? So that's first and foremost. Secondly, I want to say if I was hosting a reparations rally, I wouldn't invite the Nation of Islam to speak. They have attacked the reparations movement when it first started taking off. I'm looking at the Final Call article right now, and they actually wrote 2 defamatory articles against the movement in and of itself, based on the fact that we were shutting down a lot of Pan-Africanist arguments and we were seeking to delineate, right? That's how deep I'm into this thing. So, and I wanted to touch on that because I think that it's important to note that they contacted the Nation of Islam. I'm looking at the Final Call article right now. Several spokespeople from Narcan and Cobra, people like Ray Wimbush. And this guy, he's a hater of this movement. And it is what it is. And we had to bring him on a Twitter space a couple months back with Sister Roz. This dude did a bunch of sucker stuff, trying to argue with the sister and all. I'm just keeping it official. If I was hosting it, I wouldn't invite nobody from the Nation of Islam.
Can I respond to that?
Yes, sir.
So, brother, what you're saying is that you're reading a Final Call article that attacked the reparations movement, and are you also insinuating that the Nation of Islam representatives or the leadership attacked the reparations movement? Is that what you're saying? I'm trying to just get clarity because you
Well,
mentioned the article.
well, yes, because your media and your press is the voice of the organization, is it not? Or does it operate independently?
No. It's clear by leadership. I'm just,
Okay,
like I
okay.
said, just getting some clarity. So, were you able to? Did you follow up with anybody from the Nation of Islam? Like,
No, I didn't need to follow up with anybody from the Nation of Islam. Their intentions were clear on the 2 articles that they published. There was no need for me to follow up.
okay, well, I don't want to carry the conversation off topic. So I'm going to leave it at that point. But there are some points when it comes to reparations that we don't agree with everybody on, which is a lot of different things that people are in this space that don't agree 100% on how who all should get reparations. The one thing is clear: the Nation of Islam is 100% on board and supports and has been pushing the fact that Black people in America are the first in line to get reparations. So I'm not familiar with any article that may have been attacking reparations as a whole. Now, separating that from the attacks that go against people who represent Pan Africanism or Black nationalism is a totally different conversation. Like I said, I don't want to take the conversation in that direction, but we don't disclude. I mean, we don't separate our people, our Pan African brothers and sisters, from the conversation of reparations. So that may be the context in which the article was written, but let the record reflect that the Nation of Islam is 100% in support of and been backing for 90 plus years that Black people in America, the American so-called Negro, is deserving of and demands reparations from the United States government.
May I say something, Juicy, please?
The floor is open for question or comment.
Yeah, let me just say too, I and I'm not saying anyone said this to be offensive, but I get a little irritated when I hear people say this. Well, I'm not on Twitter and I'm not attacking anyone, but this because people like to say that. And sometimes, and I know Rashad didn't say it to be insulting, but some people do. So I want to just put this out here. A lot of us are off Twitter just as much as we are on Twitter. So the same way people who are not on Twitter may not know about us, but we are off Twitter as well doing things. Like Nordo said, she just went to court because of the work she's doing out there in LA, and some anti-black Latinos attacked her and took her to court and had some lawsuits, even threw my name in it, talking about I'm stalking them in California, and I'm in South Carolina, ain't been to California since 2018, and that was my first time ever visiting the place. Okay, so we all are doing things off Twitter as well. So just let the record show that the same way you didn't know about us because you said you're not on Twitter, we are off Twitter just as much pushing this reparations message. We all may not have a big platform, but the work we do is just as valuable as the work that any one of you do with a large platform. Let's not ever minimize or diminish the work that the average, everyday Black American man, woman, boy, or girl does. It is just as important as the work that a person with a big platform does. I don't like to get into
That
elitism and classism when it comes to doing the work for our people. We all matter.
right. I understand, brother. I understand, brother. But I hope you understand that I meant that in a literal sense. Like I literally I'm not on Twitter. And that I do respect that everybody's work and what they're doing. I praise everybody that's fighting for reparations. That is the thing that I talk about. We're all distracted when we should be focused on that one goal. But yeah, definitely would never minimize anybody's effort, especially when they're trying to fight for reparations. Again, I'm approaching this when it comes within the reparations movement. There's no ego here. There's no, oh, we trying to do this. No, I want to work with people. I want to learn with people. I want revolutionary Black lawyers, Black doctors, Black teachers, whatever the case may be. We all on the same accord. Now, to the answer the question about Booker and I'm about to say old girl. I'll show you where I'm from. Sheila Jackson. My point of speaking about them was not directly at them, but I'm saying we need some type of congressional presence, I would assume. So my question is, well, if we're not going to invite, do we have congressional presence at this march? And y'all keep saying rally. We never call it a rally. We having a reparations march. I want to be very clear about that. Yeah. So what congressional people would you like to see, if any at all? May I ask that question?
There are none, brother.
You're the organizer, so the
There
fact
are
that you're
none.
asking us this question shows that you're not qualified to even organize a reparations march, and that's going to be in integrity with lineage-based reparations. But if
Man,
anyone on the panel wants to answer that question, y'all feel free to do
I,
so. I think these are
I have an
That's
tactics and
answer.
confrontation. Why you
tactics.
being
No,
confrontational, sister?
No,
Why you
I'm being
Rashad,
being
straight up. See,
confrontational?
I don't dance around. Like, one thing about, I'm not pussyfooting around with this. You're asking us who you should invite to a reparations rally on Washington because you haven't done your research or your due diligence or your homework. And I'm calling it out. And you're calling me hostile, attempting to, again, take digs at my character, maybe because I'm a woman, whatever. I don't know. But that shit don't work with me. So if
I
anyone
have
on the
a
panel wants to
suggestion.
answer his question, who in Congress do we believe, if y'all want to, entertain this question,
No,
even,
I
or
have
just
one.
have him go do his own research and do some work and figure it out, and maybe, I don't know,
No.
try to have a rally,
I have a
or
good
excuse me,
suggestion.
a march, because
I'm
they were
sorry.
having a
No,
march. We were having a rally, but
they are. You
that's
know
not
what?
confrontational. It's just straight up, and you've been deflecting the whole time, and we don't have time to waste time because that's off
Let,
code. Because this is warfare, and we're literally talking about babies, elders, and children, Black people about to be a permanent underclass in this concept of the United States of America. And so if you don't understand what I'm talking about, or if you're so much so in your feelings that you can't stay on topic and you got to deflect with some other stuff, then that further proves to me that you're not even just unqualified. You're too soft for this work, my brother. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Marcel.
no, I got an idea, Rashad. Invite all the bastards.
Go
Invite
ahead,
the whole
Marcel.
invite the whole congressional Slack caucus and have them sit in the audience and let us have it at them. Let them hear the pain of our people. I'm serious. I don't know how in touch or out of touch any of us are. Every single second, our people are experiencing, and I know I'm preaching to the choir, but every single second, our people are experiencing economic brutality, social brutality, mental, physical brutality. Right now, as we speak, some of our people are being packed up and thrown in the streets. Right now, as we speak, some of our people, like in Jackson, Mississippi, probably done used their last bottle of clean water and don't know what the hell they're going to do. Right now, as we speak, you have black boys and girls who don't have enough food to eat, while this country is investing not just millions, but billions of dollars to feed and house illegal immigrants and send the Ukrainians and house Afghani refugees. And right now, as we speak, you got over 60 million white Americans who are enjoying wealth that they were given from land, from the Homestead
But
Act and the GI Bill, and that our people were left out of. So if you ask
Marcel,
me,
but he's
yes,
not talking about inviting them to attend.
I know,
He was asking
to
about
speak.
speaking. And
Then
so
none of them need to speak. None of
I
them need to
think
speak.
what I think the issue is, and I'm saying this respectfully, and I mentioned this again at Revolt. It just can't be, Brother Rashid, when you said, hey, I hadn't did anything all year, and I said, hey, let's do a reparations rally. That's what you said, and I could be taking it out of context. Maybe you meant it a different way. But this is the problem. It sounds as if you decided to do a rally without the proper research and was kind of hustling backwards. I understand when you said I couldn't invite anybody till I got the permit. But we all know, or at least I know as organizers, there's always an idea of who you're going to invite. There's always an idea. Nobody, I would think an intelligent person would not say, hey, I'm going to plan a rally and I'm just totally clueless on who I would invite. And I'm only going to reach out 2 weeks before. So that's why I asked you, who were you going to invite? And that's when you mentioned Sheila Jackson Lee. And so I'm just trying to, not trying to speak for anybody, but just kind of show you where the disagreement is, because we believe as intelligent adults that there was some clue on who you would even possibly think about doing. If I'm going out with a man or you're taking me out on a date, I may not have I said yes and you don't know what date, but you have an idea. I would love to take her to this nice restaurant. So if those plans were not even put in place on who would be invited, who you want to reach out to, and it was totally just I'm gonna get the date and then ask 2 weeks before based on that, it sounds like there's a lack of organization here. And it sounds that whatever is planned on next week, because we're not talking about next month, 3 months, 3 months out, 4 months out. It sounds that there needs to be more planning, more research, more support, more coalition building. And it sounds to me, in my opinion, that you are this March is not prepared to move forward adequately. And I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I'm just based on what I'm hearing. It sounds that there is a huge lack of planning. I didn't know the date for my planning for the 300 people that showed up in August. We didn't have that date, but I already knew what my media plan would be. I knew where I would go. I knew who I would reach out to. I knew how I would get it done. I mean, that's just a part of planning. So it sounds like there's a big planning gap, because even if you plan on inviting these so-called Congress people within 2 weeks, their schedule's not available. So they would have had to get a heads up several months ago. When Tariq reached out, when he was talking about this march in June, he reached out to me and others in June before even having the date, saying, hey, I'm planning on doing this October 15th. Can you come? Before he ever got the permit. So it sounds like there's some planning maybe that needs to be restructured. Let me ask you this. Are you pressed on having this on? Like, are you intentional? Like, does this have to be October 15th? Or are you open to rescheduling it and possibly getting some better planning?
Peace, sister. They gave us October the 16th. We didn't request
You
it.
can unmute
That's
yourself, Hawk.
No, he's talking.
He's speaking. If
Yeah,
it's
I think you may have some connectivity issues, Linus.
uh the date was given to us, sister. We didn't request it. We requested, as we said earlier, September the 17th, and then it was October the 8th, which we thought was locked in, and then they gave us October the 16th.
Right.
Now, I said it earlier. I wanted to reach out to. I wanted to have some type of congressional presence. The reason why I haven't reached out to them is because I'm not even sure. I've heard, some things about Sheila Jackson or whatever, and I
Well,
heard
that's
about.
my point. What I'm saying is, my question is, and I don't want to interrupt you. I just want to get straight to the question. If you're not prepared to have this on the 16th, meaning the right speakers or having more collaboration, would you be open to rescheduling? I know they gave you the date, and it's pretty clear to me why they did. I'm asking, and it doesn't have to be, the answer doesn't have to be yes. The answer could be no. I'm moving forward on the 16th, and that's that. And whoever want to come be a part of it, become a part. I'm fine with that too. I just want a straight answer. It seems there's a lack of planning and organizing, because I'm an organizer, so I know how this works too. And I just there has to be some type of planning. So since you
Right.
hadn't did any planning because you didn't have the date, would you be open to rescheduling that date so that you can work in more collaborative way to get the right people to speak? Or are you like, oh no, they gave us that date, we're moving forward, you guys are welcome to be a part of it, or no?
Well, sis, as you know, the primaries is coming up in November. That's why our main person, we were trying to have it before November. And it's not I'm just going to go and have it. It's from our end. It may look unorganized from you, but again, with a few questions, whatever, we're willing. If you want to come speak at the Reparations March, I thought that when I created this, uh, word would get out and certain people would reach out to me, and if they're really about this movement, uh, we can go along. The first people I reached out is to the people who I know that move how I move. That
But
can.
see, when you say move how you move, Brother Hawk said, and again, respectfully to Brother Hawk, he said himself, he's very honest. He said, I don't, reparations is not the forefront of my issue. Just like police reform has always been my forefront. He was very clear in saying
But
it's an
unity.
issue that's, I know, I'm just being clear to what you said. When we say
Right,
how you
right.
move,
But
I don't,
Lord
that could mean
Abba
a
is
number of different
invited.
things.
What about
So
Naheem? Did I do a
I
good job
understand.
by inviting Naheem?
Yeah, well, I'm not going to tell you did a good job, but what I'm saying
I
is
see
that
that.
anytime something is organized, I'm just saying anytime when you said it doesn't look organized to me, I'm just talking about the true how to actually organize. And typically, when
I just
somebody's
want to jump in
planning a
as in
march, I'll be quiet just quickly. Typically, when somebody's planning a march, they have a clue, just a little bit of a clue of who they want to be around, opposed to, hey, I'm just going to put it out there and people reach out to me, because that's usually, I don't go around looking at flyers and saying, hey, I want to be a part. I normally wait on people to come to me. So I think you answered my question, which is bottom line, you're doing it on the 16th, and those who want to be involved can. You're open to work with people who want to be
Yeah,
involved, but it is
yeah.
moving forward on the 16th. That was my question.
yeah,
Juicy,
and I just want to jump
Juicy. When
in
you
and,
get
and, and just
when
say,
this air clears,
you're an
can you call
organizer.
me up,
We
please?
organize as well. We've shut down cities within hours, right? And we've been able to put things together in a very short amount of time. It's what we do now.
Sure, but can I say this, Hall?
It's just,
I'm sorry,
if I could
sweetheart.
just
Let me.
finish, if I could
I'm
just
sorry.
finish.
I just want to say this. The Black Lives Matter, the police brutality is very reactionary. I've shut down cities as well. It's a different structure than reparations, because reparations is scholarly, and your based on what you said, your experience is more or less on the black, on the police brutality. And I too have shut down cities as well, and that is a very reactionary thing, which is very different than scholarly, because now, like you said, you have to plan and do the research, and this is not a topic you can just research in 2 weeks. I'll let you finish that, but I just want to be clear that every march is not the same. The
I,
same structure, the same organizing is not the same.
I appreciate you giving that in-depth testament into my mental acumen and my intellectual capacity after just 2 hours, good sister. But I guess what I'm saying is
No,
we
let's not do
we
that,
are
brother.
going. You
I
see,
haven't been
it's
condescending
late at
to you,
night. Can I just finish
but
a
I haven't been
statement?
condescending to you.
Can I just finish the
You
statement?
can, but let's not be condescending, because that's what that was. And I've been very respectful.
I just
And it's
got
late at
called
night.
soft.
It's late at night for all. But I didn't call you soft. So this is Teslam Figaro speaking. So let's not say I appreciate the mental capacity. Let's not do that. I've been very respectful, and I on the back channel, I've asked, hey, can you guys work out and see if there's a way you guys can work together? So before this
Yes,
conversation
you
ever
did.
happened,
Thank you, Teslin.
I
Yes,
right,
she did.
I
Yes,
asked,
she
can
did.
they work with you? So let us not go down that road, because I do go there. Remember, I go on with Fox 2s. I go there with the best of them. So I've been respectful of you, Hawk. Don't be condescending. It's late for all. If you don't want to be in the conversation, Simply leave. You don't have to. Don't feel
I am,
nobody's
sis,
making you
but
do
I
it.
just want to finish a statement. You ask me questions,
Sure,
and
but
when
I
I
just don't want you
respond,
to
you
be
cut me
condescending.
off.
I cut you off at
You
the
cut me
condescending
off.
part.
I mean,
You were
you
being
admitted you didn't know
condescending.
a lot about reparations. That's all she was saying. You admitted
And,
you didn't
and
know a
and
lot
here's
about
the thing.
reparations.
No.
So,
The topic that was on the table was
is it me or did Hawk cut off?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
It sounds like he cut
Yes, I
out.
can hear. I can
I
hear.
hear
Okay.
you and I
Yeah.
hear Nikki, but I don't
Can
hear Hawk. Hold
well,
on, man. I say something
I
real
need to
quick.
bring some clarity to
No
this
taxation. Let me just say
conversation.
real quick. I just want to be quick. Hawk, you admitted you didn't know a lot about reparations, and like Tesla said, y'all had Sheila Lee Jackson go on to speak. Her view of quote unquote reparations is completely different to what we are pushing for and to what our people need. So
Thank
once
you.
the organization comes in, you got to get the right people to make sure their ideology lines up with the reparations that our people need and are pushing for, and that takes time to vet. That's it. I'm sorry, no taxation. You got it.
Oh, okay, thank you so much. Because I need to bring some real clarity to this conversation because everything that has been said has directly affected me. Let me just clarify who I am. My name is Jean Cornelius Barnett. And while I'm incognito on Twitter, I don't have to be. I choose to be so I can say what I want to when I want to and how I want to. I am the person that put the flyer out today. I'll tell you why I put the flyer out. Because it was announced prematurely by somebody out in California that is working on the team for what I'm trying to do in 2023. And I had to roll with it. Teslin understands anybody who works on the Hill, anybody who does anything in politics knows that slip ups happen and you just have to roll with it. So that's what I did. And that's why further information is going to be produced. Now, let me tell you about my thing. I know who Pastor Robert Turner is because he is the cousin to my very best ride or die friend of 25 years. Okay. And he did great work in Tulsa. And I'm not taking that away from him. He's an AME pastor. And that's who's coming after us right now. It's African Methodist Episcopal. And they have aligned themselves with the narcs and the Encobras and the Pan Africans. And that's why they're sending him around. In fact, I have a permit to do a rally, a Juneteenth reparations rally, because we're not having, it's a protest rally. It's going to be fun and have a good time, and we're going to protest at the same time. My ideology for reparations has come from Dr. William Darity, who I worked with on Capitol Hill and opened doors for him on Capitol Hill. And he will tell you every meeting that I set up for him, I sat back and listened. I had nothing to say. My job was to open the door. Just like my job right now is to do this rally in 2023. And I'll tell you who my dream featured speakers will be. It will be Teslin Figaro. It will be Tariq Nasheed. It will be Marcel Dixon. And Marcel can tell you, I've been asking him and I've been dropping hints to Tesla, talking about 2023. She just said on her last spaces, whatever you do and keep doing it. Because I'm moving in silence doesn't mean I'm not moving. Okay? I want to get all the people who have been working in the masses and doing the real work to have a culmination of their work. Because say what you want to about the primary. The primary is done. If you want to know the truth about it, all the deals have been cut. So y'all are kind of late in the game. I've been working on my permit with the National Park Service
Absolutely.
in the permit office since April of this year for Juneteenth 2023 next year. Yes, it's a process. Yes, you have to do what you have to do. I have a permit. I have it in my hand. I have amended my permit. I've done several things to my permit. The featured the keynote speaker will be Dr. Lanice Bias, who is also on the planning committee. That is the mother of Lynn Bias, and she has an organization called Women of Light. The United Black Fund of Washington, D.C., an organization that has been in D.C. for many, many, many decades, will also be there. The National Congress of Negro Women of Washington, D.C., they will also be there. The no, excuse me, NAASD out there in California that just did all the work out there all of them will be there. So I'm doing real work, but I'm not telling nobody what kind of work I am, not because I don't need nobody to know, not because I'm scared. I ain't scared of nobody. I've been in this game for a long, long, long time. I was Claire Luper's, one of Claire Luper's children. And if you don't know who Clara Luper is out of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, go look her up. She was there before the Montgomery bus boycott. Look in her book. You'll see a picture of me, my mama, my grandmama, and my daddy. We're all mentioned. So I've been in this game for a long time, since the age of 3. I was raised in it and I know what I'm doing. I don't want anything of what I'm doing to be confused with anything that anybody else is doing. I don't know this Hawk man. I don't know no national people for the league or whoever, reparation. I don't know none of them. I ain't never heard of them. I don't know them, and I don't. That is not saying anything. That's not a slight to them. I'm saying I don't know them. So my stuff in the flyer that you see, and I put it up over there. I don't know how to do no jumbotron because I'm plus 65 plus. I like to stick with 65 because sometimes you have to roll your years back. You understand what I'm saying? But anyway, nevertheless, and needless to say, I was going to ask certain people. That's why I'm on Twitter every day. I'm on Twitter every day. It's a tool for me. It's not because I'm out here having a good time and having a great time. It's because I need people. I can't do this by myself. Those are organizations that are already helping me. They're already on the planning committee. The reason Teslin doesn't know, Tariq doesn't know, and Marcel doesn't know as featured speakers is because it's not time for them to know yet. The formal letters haven't come out yet. It's not time for the.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I'm sorry I had to mute you right quick because we're going off topic and we do want to support you. And we do want to hear more information about that, but we don't want to, allow these brothers. I think Hawk, did he run? Did he get kicked off? Hopefully he'll come back. We don't want to we want to make sure we give our brothers Hawk and our brother Rashad time to respond. So respectfully, ma'am, in the words of our brother Tariq Nasheed, I had to land your plane for you. Where were we? Our brother Jojo is up. Jojo, you have the floor. Go ahead, Jojo.
Oh, there you go. Peace, everybody. Peace. Um, I just want to say, man, I'm thankful for the opportunity to come up here and speak. Juicy, you're doing a great thing. That was very genius of you. Now I know where you get that genius from. To actually, allow us the opportunity to
Brother, your
speak.
your volume is a little bit low.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
That's
Much
better.
better.
Okay. What I was saying was I wanted to thank Juicy Genius because I realize now why the genius is in there, because that was very genius to allow us the opportunity to speak to these brothers. Because I know on my timeline I retweeted it separate from Miss Giselle's page because I seen it too and I made a mental note of it. And I was looking at the wording, and I understand that wording is very important in this movement. And on the wording, it had something about descendants of slaves and let me make sure, y'all. Hold up, let me get it right because I want to make sure. And it was very confusing. Um, and it says calling all descendants of American slavery and Jim Crow to demand reparations. So my thing is the wording. That kind of took me off because I don't know what a descendant of Jim Crow would be in a, you know, as far as relating to slavery. You know what I'm saying? Because the wording right there kind of messes everything up. Chattel slavery was something that they economically, gained off of us. They pushed themselves ahead by the free labor of our ancestors. Jim Crow was more like, unfair treatment. So I don't really know how those two can coincide as far as languaging, as far as like a reparations claim. So if you could help me understand that. And then my second question would be BLM is attached to this flyer. That's a red alert for me. I think that's a red
No, it's
alert for
not. No,
everybody
no,
else.
no, no, it's not.
I see Black Lives Matter.
Lives Matter is not on the original flag.
Not on the original. Okay. Well, I see BLM and
No,
Tariq.
yeah, I think somebody did that as a joke. I'm
Oh.
sorry. Somebody made a phony flyer and they
Okay.
got the
Okay.
LGBTQ. Right? It's feedback somewhere.
Okay. You seen that same one? Cause
Yeah, I
somebody.
saw it. Ignore that. That's somebody made a joke and put it in
I
LGBTQ.
see something
That's a
though.
So
phony.
that's
Mute
not
your mic.
real. Okay.
That
Yeah,
wasn't
that's
real.
not real. That's phony, y'all. Ignore that
Okay.
one.
So,
Somebody
but
be.
okay. So let me take that. Let me take that back though. But I still need to know. How is this Jim Crow thing pushed into our reparations claim, and how does that actually sound? Because I know there are other scholars on here that can break that down as what connection that may be, and or if this may be something that can harm us altogether, as far as our total claim.
I'm sorry, I just want to say this. The bottom line, from my understanding, this was to figure out what is going on with this march. If you guys want to, and I just want to know so I can get on out of here. If this is a educational session on teaching the brothers who's organizing the march about reparations, that's one thing. But I thought the bottom line was who was invited to this march, who organized this march. It is very clear that it was just organized. They just got the date, and they're up in the air on who they want to invite to the march. It doesn't sound like a lot of folks in this room are willing to participate in the march, and it certainly sounds clear that the brother's not interested in pausing the march. So the resolution is at a standstill. Now, if you guys want to just talk about what reparations should and should not be, I think that's another conversation. But I thought this room was bottom line is who's doing the march and do they know anything about reparations? And I think
That's what
we've
I
reached
thought,
an
sis.
agreement on that. Yeah.
That's what I thought as well. That's why
I
I'm not
agree. I have
saying
all the
that.
information I need to make my assessment, Sister Tesman.
I don't
So
want to
do we
make it
help
seem.
them?
Hold on now. See, I
So
don't want
this
to
is
make it
my
seem.
thing. I wanted to. I feel like I'm being recorded outside of my space
Yeah,
being recorded.
something's weird. Where's that weird echo coming from? Yeah, that's strange. I want to say.
Okay, I just muted everyone because it just seemed like there were some hot mics and it made it echo. So go ahead.
I just want to say, are we offering that if Rashad wants help going forward? Are we offering to help? Are we going to recommend speakers? Are we going to
Sister Juicy, you're muted.
I'm kind of with Tesla. Oh no, I don't think. I think Linus was having connectivity issues, but I'm kind. I don't know. Maybe y'all can't hear me, but I'm kind of with Tesla too.
We can
Like
hear
we
you,
do.
Marcel.
We can hear you,
Okay.
Marcel.
I do think we need to have a consensus and kind of move forward because I think Rashad is doing this for a good reason. I sincerely do. I mean, there is no glory in these type of things. I can tell you that. You don't get a golden star for trying to do a reparations rally, typically speaking. Usually you're going to get
Right.
people attacking you. That includes other black people. Okay. So it's not like you get a reward for doing this. So and like I said, I never attributed malicious motives once I found out it was him. And Hawk took some things personal, but we moved past that. So what do we do now? Like, I mean, are we offering the Naheem? I know you and Rashad work together. So are we offering to help organize this and get people who are going to really speak to what we want? Because Naheem, I definitely trust you being in the room because I know you're going to stand up for us and stand your square. So I'm confident. I'm not saying I didn't have faith in Rashad, but I just know Naheem better. That's all I'm saying. So yeah, what is the consensus here? Because I
Well,
do think we kind of have to move forward.
let me just say, I'll definitely be reaching out to my brother. I would love to have a conversation with he and brother Hawk about the details and the particulars. The brother invited me, and I said, he invited me. I don't remember. I can't even remember when he first called me. It was
Months ago.
months ago. And
Months
this
ago.
was right. This was a discussion that I, and Ty Harper had last year about a reparations rally in DC, right? So, and my purpose for being here was to vouch for the brother, right? To let it be known like this ain't no shady stuff going on with some shady Democratic shill
But
individual.
Brother Naheem, you know you're my favorite. I just want to say this. If he reached out to you months and months and months ago, That is the challenge. The other people could have been reached out to months and months and months ago. Because 1 minute it's reached out months ago, and then it's, oh, I couldn't say nothing to nobody because I didn't have the date. And so that's where, and I don't want to belabor that point. I just want to be clear that we are aware that people reach out to people more than 2 weeks before. And so there was a lack of understanding with who should be invited and how to move forward. I'm not questioning his intentions. It probably was sincere. I don't know him, but it is very clear that there was a lack of organization and research, and just thought, oh, this will be just another rally like police brutality, and we'll just shut down the city, and as long as people show up. And what they're finding is that this conversation is much deeper and more, a little bit more volatile. People are serious about this
I
more
look,
so
Sid,
than
I
just
don't
bringing folks
disagree.
together.
Damn right.
I don't disagree. The
Because we're
brother,
not about to have another civil rights movement where they give our affirmative action and our rights to, white women, for example, who are hating us and lynching us with their kids. So we're not going to let that happen again. And that's why we're moving with this
facts,
energy.
So
facts.
let me just say to Brother Marcel, to answer your question, brother, it's welcome. Anybody who's affiliated with Brother Naheem is a friend of mine because I know how Naheem moves. Anybody who's a brother of Ty Harper, I know how these brothers move. I know they're more frequent and active. They've been telling me about Twitter for a minute, but I just been dragging my feet because I'm like, man, I'm not even on that app. Not really understanding that this is where an important tool where a lot of information gets pushed out first. But one thing we cannot do is we can never attack a person for what they don't know. You know what I mean? Like if somebody
Well,
don't know,
we don't
they don't
attack
know
them, but
something.
we do
I've been,
challenge, and we do try
I've
to
been
correct.
called a few names though, sister. Let's be clear. I've been called a few names, and again, I would never think that it would be this type of energy for start. Because again, I'm doing this for us. This is not for self glory.
Well,
This is
again,
not
that's
for
why having
ego.
the
I
information,
want us to
right?
do it. And if I
That's
don't
why having the
have all the
intel matters.
information, give
So
me
how
the
do we?
information so I can help.
So how do we move forward? Is Naheem, brother Naheem, are you willing? This is just a bottom line question. Are you willing to help maybe facilitate some other speaker suggestions? Obviously, brother Naheem cannot make anybody want to speak. Their schedule may not be available. They still may not be comfortable with moving forward. That's not on him to force anybody. But are you willing? Who can? I guess how do we move forward so that, because Hawk left because he said he has a kid. Well, just as an FYI, please let the brother know we all got kids and families and all of that. And see, again, that is why this is so passionate, because we dedicated an enormous amount of time to this. And so that was kind of disrespectful just to leave without saying goodbye, but it's neither here nor there. No, like he said, he doesn't owe us anything, but we do know that America owes us a check. And so that's why people are passionate. So how do we move forward in the bottom line? Do you feel comfortable with folks that want to be involved to reach out to Naheem and he give you that information? He vets them. What is the bottom line in conclusion with this?
And Rashad, people want this to succeed. None of us are here to stop something that can help the reparations movement. This is not like a dog. This is not a dog trying to like mark their territory. This is just us, you and being you included. This is just us being people who saw our grandparents go through the civil rights movement, and everyone thought it was going to be a revolution, and then it got sold out and snatched from underneath them. Then 2020 happened, and we had the George Floyd protest worldwide, and you couldn't tell us that things were about to change for us, and Black Lives Matter came along and diverted that, and we got nothing, and we're worse off. We are just tired of things. We're tired. So we're tired of our people being sold out. So no one's attacking you, and I don't want you feeling like everyone's beating up on you. It's not about you. It's about us, and we just got to make sure that our movements are not hijacked as they've been. I don't think any of us knew you well enough, one way or the other, Naheem, to say good or bad. We just want this to be right. So this is something we want to be a success. And that's why we're here. No one's doing this for fun. We don't get any, there's no reward for beating up on another Black guy. There's no fun. We don't get paid to, beat up on somebody trying to do something good for our people. We're here because we know if this is not done right, then our people are going to suffer what? Another 300 years? Okay? And
So
300
do
years
you
later?
want so brother Rashid, do you want people to reach out to you directly? Because my apologies, brother Naheem, I don't
No,
want to
that's okay.
assign you to something you didn't sign up for. But Brother Rashid, do people need to get in contact with you? You're moving forward with it on the 16th. That's clear. Do you want folks who want to, because you keep saying reach out to you. I haven't heard much about you reaching out to anybody else. So do you want people to reach out to you? What do we need to do to close this on up, to put a bow on this? How do you want people to move
Yes,
forward?
as I said earlier, brother Tariq Nasheed was on my list to hit up. I'm just waiting on my letterhead to get back. I revamped my whole
Okay, but
letterhead.
let's skip
How
past
can
the
we help
letterhead. What
you?
Sister,
I'm
I'm answering
asking
the
now
question.
is,
I'm answering.
no,
I'm
it's just
answering the
it's just
question.
a yes or no. Do you want
But
people
hold
to
on, no,
reach
no,
out to
this is not a
you?
courtroom, sister. This is not a courtroom. I'm saying Tariq Nasheed was on my list to hit up because I know he's moving forward with the reparations movement, despite being a producer and all these other things. And I know he has a following, which I guess is a lot of y'all, who is also
But
going
Brother
for
Rashid, I'm
reparations.
not speaking
So
about
my
Tariq
thing
and who
is,
you're
well,
going to
I'm
reach out
getting
to.
to.
I'm about to defer back to Teslin, but I find that really interesting because when I initially asked the question, if y'all knew that our brother Tariq Nasheed was hosting a rally, same weekend, same place, y'all said no, but yet all of a sudden he's on your list of people to reach out to. But anyway, I'm going to open up the floor back to our sister Teslin and our brother Rashad, so we can go ahead and wrap this up. Brother Rashad, she's going to ask you again. You say it's not a courtroom, but this is also not a congressional filibuster either. So please get to the point and answer her question so we can wrap this up.
We just want to
Okay,
help you.
brother. So I'm just asking. You can reach out with whoever you plan on reaching out to, whoever that is, Tariq and so forth. We're not necessarily interested in who you're going to reach out to. Feel free to reach out to whoever. What I'm asking, for the sake of this call, you're going to have the march on the 16th. That's clear. You're not going to reschedule it.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you want others to reach out to you, to be proactive and reach out to you, and then you will reach out to who you
Absolutely.
feel you need to
Tell
reach out?
me, I
Great.
want everybody in this space to tell me who exactly we need to speak at this march.
And so how
Absolutely.
should they get in contact with you? Because that's not going to be handled on this particular space.
That's
So
what
You
I was gonna
can,
say.
how do we get in contact with you?
my name is Rashad.Singleton on Instagram, or you can DM National Reparations League on Instagram, or you can DM me right here, or me and Abba talk every other week. You can hit Brother Naheem up and he'll hit me back. What I want this to be successful. That's the main thing. I'm not into no beefs. I'm glad the sister mentioned about the emotions. This is not emotional. My emotional is to the, I ain't gonna say what I want to say, but to the enemy. uh I want this to be the most successful reparations event that we possibly have, with ultimatum, not just getting together and talking about it, but actually have a or else at the end of it.
Okay. Well, no problem. Well, we appreciate that, and I will just say to this: when something needs to be successful, it does require a bit more than 2 weeks out planning. And I'm just saying that respectfully.
They was playing with me
No,
too.
no, 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 no. Just like you reached out to Naheem months and months ago saying, hey, I got this idea. I want to do it. I don't know the date, but I'm considering you. The same way I reached out to folks 4 months prior to my training, the same way Tariq reached out to folks prior to the training. You give people a heads up. And certainly if you're expecting people of Congress, because their schedules are booked months and months and months, sometimes 6 months in advance. So let's kind of move forward with the I didn't know what was going on until next week. You knew what was in your mind. And so, as an organizer, surely you, as an organizer, saying that you do this all the time, know that it takes more than 2 weeks to get things together. But we've moved past that, and I think that was a learning lesson. Folks know who to reach out to if they're interested in connecting with you, and then you will be reaching out to whoever you feel is whoever you're interested in. Is that what we understand?
Absolutely. If you think
Okay.
somebody qualified, or you yourself feel qualified, reach out to me, or Brother Abba, or Brother Ty.
Thank you so
And
much.
you're set on holding it on this date, Rashad. You're straight
Yes,
up set on it.
because it was such a hassle to get the permit. I wouldn't dare even shake up things at this point, because they just gave it to us last week after begging and pleading. Hey, we're trying to get this thing done. We're trying to get this thing done. Just got it a few days ago.
And do you need help? You don't need any help
I've got a
organizing, do
problem.
you?
I've
Do
got
you
a
need?
problem.
Pardon me, Dr. Short. Can you please introduce yourself and let
Yeah,
them know your involvement? This is Brother Rashad, and we're about to wrap up after we hear from Dr. Short, and Brother Rashad can respond. He is the organizer and he is the founder of the National Reparations League. And Dr. Short, you know, we're running on limited time, so if you want to
sure.
go ahead and say your piece, and then we're going to peace out.
I'm just incredibly perplexed by all of this. I'm perplexed by things that have been happening, not just with this, but for other things for years, that new groups should suddenly appear, which they have the right to do. But in terms of reaching out or looking, or I just don't understand it. I don't understand how we in Washington, not just for the march Brother Tariq and Sister Jade and others of us wanted, we couldn't even get a pull-up anywhere in the city. To me, I don't think we should be concerned over whether a permit is given. There should have been outrage and there should have been a push. If we have to beg for permits or feel so lucky to get permits when we're the public that not only built this country but paid for everything, that we just take whatever people hand, it hands out, sends the wrong message. In 1941, they were willing to bump heads. In 1957, they bumped heads. In 1995, they bumped heads. In 1963, they bumped heads. We shouldn't feel lucky or we got to do it because they did it. I would have rather that been done with more time, as well as exposing the Park Service for and the government for this instead of doing this. I just feel completely, something's not right here. And the fact that there are a lot of these groups that are going through issues of what they've done with the funding, or wherever they've gone across the country, this BLM link, where the real activists have been murdered across the country, and there's no reference to this. And now all of a sudden, that there are these pull-ups and other things. Now groups that weren't quite doing that now get the lead on it. It looks like controlled opposition. Whether that applies to the brother that's speaking or not, that's the appearance. This is what the enemy does, and we can wittingly or unwittingly do what the enemy wants, and particularly in terms of how we deal with one another. I live in D.C. Something's wrong. Something's rotten in Denmark. I don't know who it is, but it's rotten. I'm done.
Yes, something definitely stinks, and I'm not supporting any of it. I just can't. I I don't even. I hope I'm not gonna tell Tariq what to do, but I wouldn't participate in it because something just doesn't seem right.
This has nothing to do with my lineage.
Okay,
Good night,
I'm going
y'all.
to speak here. Okay. Well, I just wanted to ask Brother Rashad, based off of the space and the discussions that we've had for the past 2.5 hours here. Um, Again, my whole objective was to host a space to bring everyone that could possibly attend to ask questions to him, and I do appreciate you, giving your time and answering questions based off of the space. I just wanted to know what is your overall outlook as far as your knowledge on reparations, and what is your anticipated expectation for this reparations march, with the given insight and feedback from the people that are grassroots on the ground in the movement.
Right, says peace. You know, obviously the overall goal is to get reparations and to build momentum and to continue to raise awareness. This is just a step. We know that this alone is not going to get the job done, but it's a step. We understand that Dr. King and the Poor People's Campaign, this is what he was going to talk about right before he was assassinated. Nobody never picked up the ball. Like who? Nobody never picked up the ball to finish what he was starting when it came to that. When he said, "We come to get our check," And this is what I believe our generation is here to do. And I have to say, this has been refreshing. I didn't know it was gonna be like this. You know what I'm saying? When you invited me to this space, I'm thinking that we're gonna try to. I'm hoping that we still can continue to build unity and figure out a way to going forward. But to hear that people say that it's something stinks. What do you want from me? Do you want screenshots of emails? Like, what do you want? That my team is working so hard to get this thing done, and it's very troubling. I mean, we black people, we out here, we putting our lives in the reparation movement to do all this hard work. I expected it from the white man, but I'm not expecting any aggression or any type of pushback from within our own community, because I want to work with you. You're hearing it from me. I respect the FBA and doing something specifically for us. I respect Tariq Nasheed and pushing forward. And that's just how it is from my end.
Brother, you don't get the red carpet.
Just, I think you just keep, Rashad. I mean, I believe if you're sincere, then you keep pushing forward, and your actions will, show what you're about. But I think you understand, while everyone is moving with suspicion. Hell, I mean, I got this. I mean, I ran for Congress on a reparations platform, and people were suspicious of me because our history.
Yep.
We've been betrayed by our own people. So that's what this is about. But you're opening yourself up to help, and there you go, and we'll just see what happens. But people also have the right to make their own decisions about how they feel about it. So there's that too now.
Okay, so I'm going to wrap the space up. I just want to thank everyone for coming into the room. Shout out to Sister Lioness and Sister Nikki the God, Brother Marcel, Sister Teslin. What I would recommend to you, Brother Rashad, is that you attend Teslin's one of her trainings in regards to community organizing, and your team as well. Really, really important that if you do have a team, that they get some adequate, efficient training from an expert, because we don't know what we don't know. Like you said, and it's not, no, it's not a browbeating or trying to beat you down. And this wasn't about jumping on you. It's just, you can hear a lot of passionate people who have already put a lot of work in, just as you say that you've done and your team has done as well. And some of the discussions and topics and responses are just not up to the standard of knowledge of the people that's already in the space, is already moving progressively. We got to get you up to par. That's why I was begging you, like, come to this space. You've got to immerse yourself in the grassroots organizers, thought leaders, philosophers, scholars, brilliant people who are well versed, in depth on this discussion. And I'm really concerned that if you are the only person that shows up to the march and you're the only one with a microphone, that it's not going to be as successful as you would like it, as far as getting the knowledge and information about reparations. We can't just say reparations or else, or reparation. There has to be well in depth review and feedback and knowledge shared to people, so that people know that we're not playing about this. It ain't just reparation. Oh, when somebody asks you something, I'm just here for reparations. I'm just here. No, you have to have a very deep discussion and have data and historical information. And it's just so much. And I just, I wasn't aware that you were considered congressional leaders. I don't know if they're Democrats or not. If they are, I definitely would not want to participate if you invite those people, because they're not for us. And we've had the discussion about, what the politicians that are in house doing right now. They're just not for us. So if anybody that you considered speaking should be at the grassroots level, like Brother Marcel would have been an excellent reparationist, who did run for office. And if you've been in this reparation movement for the amount of years that you've been in it, then you would have already known that. And so that's what I was saying. There's a lot of aspects to the movement, and there's a lot of leaders and people that are moving to the top of the discussion that should have been already, reached out to and communicated with. I wish you nothing but the best. I wish everyone nothing but the best on whatever aspect of the reparation movement that you're in. And I just want to thank everyone. I've been humbled completely by this space, and I just want you to, walk away with a few takeaways, and get ready to do some more homework. And I wish you the best. I'm gonna go ahead and close out the space. Thank you all. You have a great night.